You're this perp back with another video, and Jesus Christ. Episode 13, Attack on Titan Season 4. This show just keeps getting better and better. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, because I'll be doing Attack on Titan lives, AOT lives. We're definitely going to do one at the end of this month, talking about these last few episodes. But to be honest, I have no idea where to even begin with this episode. They just continue to just surprise me with each episode. This episode was fantastic. It was not a letdown. But let's get started. I don't want to waste no more time. So the episode starts with Zeke having a conversation with Levi about how he went about destroying Connie's village. And I love this back and forth, because out of all the characters, we don't know their true intentions. And Zeke is one of those characters. We don't know Aaron's true intentions as well, but the build up that they've been doing these last few episodes are so perfectly well crafted. You have this back and forth between Levi, and Levi doesn't know exactly how to, pretty much take all this information, because he's starting to put the pieces together. He finds out that Zachary got killed, so that is alarming to everybody. Now everybody has to kind of get questioned. So then we go back to the restaurant where the Brows and, Falco and Gabi are there with them. And this is where things get insane. So Nico, he pops back up because he told Mr. Brows that he wanted to cook for his family, not knowing that Gabi and Falco are warrior candidates. We find that out later in the episode. But a little bit of information was given, and Gabi's facial expression just shows it all, because she's like, what is going on here? And she's still kind of on that bullshit this episode, but I'll get into that very shortly, as they try to go down to the cellar to talk to Nico. But before we get to that, Nico gets stopped by Hanji, and Hanji just wants to ask some questions. Then you see the wine pop up, and the wine finally gets explained. That goes back to the conversation that Zeke had with Levi about how he gassed this whole entire village with his spinal fluid. And that's how people turned into Titans. So it was also revealed later on in this episode that what's been in these wine bottles is spinal fluid from Zeke, which you have a scene where Jean tries to pick up one of these glasses of wine and drink it, and Nico was like, no, do not touch that. That's not for you. He had to get grimy or say some wild shit to get him to not pretty much drink that, because Nico knows what's going on. So going back to the cellar real quick, with Gabi and Falco kind of revealing themselves to be warrior candidates, and Nico is like, why are you guys here? And then it snaps. He puts two and two together, because Gabi makes mention that we came here on an aircraft carrier, or the blimp. And Nico is like, so wait, you're the one that shot Sasha. And Gabi was like, yeah, I shot one of them, like she was proud of it. And Falco's like, no, you were not supposed to say that. And then Nico grabs one of the bottles, tries to crack Gabi over the head with it, but instead Falco gets in the way and gets himself knocked the fuck out. Which, man, Falco is taking too much of a beating for this woman, bro, or this girl, I should say. And it's like, is it really worth it, Falco? Man, like, she's gonna end up getting your ass killed. So this is where things get extremely wild from this point on. Nico takes both of them, up to Mr. Browse and says, "This is the person that killed your daughter." And he's pretty much giving Mr. Browse an ultimatum, but he's like, "What are you gonna do? If you're not gonna do anything, then I'm willing to kill Gabi myself. This is the person that killed your daughter." And this is, at the moment, I was like, wow, are they really gonna do it right here? Are they really gonna kill Gabi right here? Is Mr. Browse finally gonna get revenge? He actually does the complete opposite and kind of just talks about Sasha, how she was this little girl in the forest, and he felt like eventually this would happen to her once she went to the real world. She eventually got herself killed. And that whole scene, man, it was just really powerful, and I got emotional. I got kind of choked up because you feel so much pain in his voice, because he's talking about Sasha like she's a hunter. And I spoke about this on my most recent AOT Live when we were talking about Sasha's character and why she is so important, and how she's just not a side character. She's a well-written character, and why she's a fan favorite. To see the look on Mr. Browse's face that, he could easily take Gabi's life, but what would that really solve? And it was at this moment where he puts down the knife. Kaya goes for the knife and almost stabs the shit out of Gabi, but Mikasa's able to step in the way because the scouts get there and they kind of break everything up. Eren pops up. Flock and all of them pop up. Flock is a psycho. I don't care what nobody say. Flock is a complete psychopath. He is on a complete power trip in this scene where he doesn't feel like he has to take orders from Hanji anymore. They've kind of created their own kind of militia. So, man, going back to Kaya was literally inches away from just stabbing the hell out of Gabi, because she realizes, like, this is the person that killed Sasha. This is the person that saved me, and you took that away from me. And Gabi is sitting there conflicted as well. It's just like, why don't y'all kill me? And Armin and Mikasa take her into the back room. This is where Eren pops up with his hand cut. And you already know what that means, what he's doing with that, which is pretty crazy that he would go that far with his best friends that he's known all his life. So with everything kind of exposed, exactly what's going on as far as with the wine bottles, Zeke and Levi have to probably duke it out, while the scouts back at the restaurant are kind of cornered by the Jaegerists. I don't know what to expect to get from Eren in this conversation, but I'm all for it. How do you guys feel about this episode as a whole? I thought this was a perfect episode, emotional episode. I can't wait to see the next 3 episodes and how all this kind of plays out. And mind you, Marley is there somewhere just in the cut. When will they pop up? Probably when everything goes to shit. But till next time, I'm out.